La 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 la. Where? Is it? I don't know. Okay. What the hell? All right. So this is going to be an early morning message. I think it's like 8:13. So we're going to go ahead and get this recorded and see what's going on. See if there's a message. Because I got shit to do today. Hey, girlfriend. What time is it where you're at? Okay. This one has been y'all know I got like a million of these things. He's been talking to me lately. My feathers have been moving lately. Okay. Another gorgeous day. So I was going to get the message done early. Oh, really? Golly. So when I come on later, like it's late at night then. All right. Well, I'm going to do this. It's another nice day, so I will be getting out. I was like, I'm going to get this done. And y'all are just probably going to have like a season of me coming on looking like this after I drop the kids off. Because look, it just looks so... Don't I look so weird? I look so weird. I don't fucking know. Oh, wow. I don't know. I look weird, but okay. That's no makeup right there. That's what that is. I don't know why I grabbed this, but I guess we're going to go there. We're going to just start. We're just going to dive in and see if there's a message. I'm getting anxious because I know that this is the energy today. I'm getting anxious because there's not any answers yet. Like, I get it. I fucking get it. Like, I'm supposed to just like walk into this blindly and keep moving forward and trust that but you know what I really don't like? This is the energy. Like, it's like a story unfolding in my head. Like I was feeling it when I was getting everything ready. And I'm like, it just feels like I don't want to do, the idea of radio silence between things to do. Like, I feel a radio silence, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like an inkling, like an intuition hit, and I take those steps and then nothing. And I try to, like, it's like this communication either with my higher self, intuition, spirit, source, whatever the fuck you want. And it's like radio silence. And it's like the most annoying shit in the world to have to deal with radio silence. That's probably going to be the name of this read, is the radio silence in between the knowings of what to do. Because it's, when things are being like, when you feel like you're kind of like things are being revealed one step at a time, one thing at a time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you end up getting to a place where you're like, the in between, when you've taken that step and you're like, okay, so, and sometimes efforts that you make and steps that you take, nothing necessarily magically happens, you know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, so what's next then? And there's this I get so sick and tired of the radio silence, is what I feel like saying. Like, why can't the lines of communication continue open? Oh, wow. Okay, so why can't the lines of communication continue open in between the steps and things like that, And it's like, because I feel the need, I feel like I want to, like, there's either certain things I want to address or certain things I want to do in between. And I'm feeling like the waiting for the next step. It's like, I should, like, why does it have to be a wait? Why can't I be doing things in between taking my initiative and steps? You know what I mean? Again, this is hermity mode, or this is like the after effects of the hermit mode. You go within so you can get your lantern, right? And you start walking your path, and like one step after the other is illuminated for you, but there's some kind of like either one, me taking the steps, I'm not, it's both. I'm not getting, like, I'm not seeing the results of that. I'm like, okay, um, why did I feel led to do that then if I don't see a difference? And then two, it's like then when you are in that state, you're like waiting for the next step. You're like, okay, so now what? Radio silence. Like, it's annoying as shit. Like, how do I get intuitive hits sometimes, and how do I feel like I'm connected to spirit sometimes, and other times nothing. And in the midst of me trying to explain that to you all, they take me back to, and I don't know who this is for or why they're doing this, but they literally had a vision. It's like it's a half a memory, half a vision. Because uh, when I went to Italy and I was on the train, the train went by the coastline. And I remember sitting and just watching the ocean and like different things like that. And that feeling of mixture of excitement and like satisfaction with it, like feeling, oh, I love this. Like it felt so good. And and I like my heart chakra went, you know how that is, right? That's a legitimate term. Um, and I don't know why they interrupted me trying to explain that with that. Like, there's this, I think that has something to do. There's something about, I'm on a train. They've got me on a train going past the coastline, a train that goes down the coastline. I don't know if somebody is feeling drawn to go to Italy or wants to go to Italy or is on the train right now and they're listening to me or something, but I think it also has to do with the emotion. Like, the feeling that came with that was like pure excitement. Almost as if like I've waited to go back. Like, to me it felt like, oh, I get like I get to do that again. Like, there's a revisiting of something that you super enjoy. I don't know. We'll find out. But that was strange because it felt like, there's times where it's like there's a memory, but that was very specific. Like, it was a show playing out in my mind's eye and an emotion, and it was like a message all at once. And I'm like, what is that? It's definitely an adventure. Isn't it amazing? Here's the thing. Here's what they just told me. Isn't it amazing how what may be an everyday occurrence for somebody else, for the people that live there, feels like an adventure for somebody who's never been there, who's never experienced it, who doesn't get to have that on a daily basis. So when you hear, if you're listening to other readers and you hear people talking about you get to go on an adventure, open your mind. Like, it's not like going down the coastline felt so amazing to me in a train, because in the US we don't use a lot of trains, and if it is, it's going through the middle of the United States, not near the coast. There are some that run up in the New England area, but for the most part we don't. And it was like, and it's the scenery is fucking gorgeous. The coastline in Italy is just, in Sicily specifically, is gorgeous. And so, but that's like everyday occurrence. I took my kids to walk. My sister lives up near the New England area. We ended up going to Washington, D.C., and the train there felt like an adventure for them, because where we live, we don't have we don't have trains. The only thing that runs on trains where I live is coal. You know what I mean? So like, when spirit is talking to you about an adventure and something that excites your soul, it's something new for you, while it could be the mundane for somebody else, the routine for somebody else. I don't know why that's coming through, but it also feels like an excitement of getting to do that again, or getting to do something that you don't normally get to do. That maybe that'll become your routine. Maybe that thing that once felt like an adventure for you gets to become your everyday. That would be fucking awesome. As sunrise hits, no joke, where I'm at, The sun just rose up. Like it's 8 o'clock in the morning. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls with news. Prepare for the unexpected. This is for me. I'm in this too, heifers, okay? So if I get excited, shut your mouth. Oh my gosh, where are we at? Hey guys. I wonder if this is gonna pop off. Like if me coming on this early in the morning works well and people show up, amaze balls. We will do it more often, okay? Hi. And you? FYI, I butcher every name I come across. It's my form of love. It's an endearing love from me. It's an acknowledgement. I try, y'all. I try. Okay, prepare for the unexpected. So again, there is radio silence. Whoever I'm reading for, radio silence, waiting for your next step. You've taken a few intuitive steps, and you're really irritated by the radio silence. But there's this thing wrapped in with the unexpected of going on an adventure. Like maybe the adventure, what seems like an adventure to you, will become your everyday routine, will become normal. Because again, as a reminder, what feels like a vacation and a change and an adventure and something new to you is the everyday for somebody else. This is a new message, y'all. This is a new message. Take in the beauty of country lands and botany. What the fuck? Oh my god. If you go on Sicily's coast and you're like the amount of gorgeous, okay, in the US, we don't have these things. Like we kill off all our female trees and stuff. Like we don't have fruit trees just lined everywhere. We do have flowering trees, but like the beauty, like it's, oh, okay. Explore the wonder like a gypsy traveler's odyssey. An adventure. I swear to you, this is like intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. This is talking about the radio silence. Radio silence. Do not be nervous today or tonight. That was yesterday. The path you are on will lead you just right. I think that's the thing. I'm taking steps, I'm making moves, I'm doing what I feel guided to do, but then there's like radio silence, like I don't feel guided for the next step. I don't know what that. So here's where your brain, where your ego will try to fill in with stories. Okay, maybe we should do this, maybe we should try to do this, and And the idea of just sitting still in that radio silence feels hella like just no, no. Okay. Some kind of adventure is about to start. Something that you feel like is never a part of your normal routine is about to begin. But you're in this liminal space, and not just the void. You're out of the void. You know that time frame when like all life is stagnant. This is I'm feeling connected again, right? And so I'm taking this step and this step and this step, and then waiting for okay, now what? And you don't like it, and they're like, trust. It's easier said than done. Trust. I don't think so. We're going to start here. This feels weird and awkward. I feel led to it, but it feels weird and awkward. Like I'm questioning if I'm actually going to get something from this. I feel really drawn, like I want more oracle, but I'm being led to this one. I just tell you my process. Usually it comes out and it means something when this is the way that, if I'm feeling something, thinking something, sensing something during a reading, I say it because it usually is an indication of something. Like that's like somebody else's energy I'm tapping into, or the energy story that Spirit's trying to tell me. All right. So I got a couple of things. So like two like very colloquial sayings. The devil's in the details, right? So when your mind is trying to fill in like all these little things that you should be doing and the reasons why this and this and this, and because you haven't moved, so it's trying to say, okay, well then we're just going to do this. Like that's where the devil gets its in. That's where the negative interfering energies have a way in. Okay, but also it's like idle hands are the devil's playground. Like there's something here because we have the devil card at the very end, right? Like in these moments of radio silence is when this level of nervous energy like builds up, and that seems to be the time when interfering energies can kind of come in and fuck with you a little bit is what I want to say. And so it really wants you to and the funny thing is we have over here the Four of Pentacles, which would really indicate you having a hesitancy rather than the radio silence feels like instability to you. Like either you've made a wrong move or maybe you misinterpreted and your intuition was off and you feel like you suddenly have shaky ground. When that happens, you will grasp onto things. That's what they're saying. You're grasping onto things. Four of Pentacles. So grasping onto just anything that's, it's like when everything seems up in the air and there's no real guidance, you're going to start grasping onto things. You're either going to try to make something work. You're going to try to force something to do, to do something. You're going to try to fill in the stories so that you feel like you have something to do, like you're making progress and everything else like that. And it's really just, that's you trying to hold on to stability, because to not do those things, to not have the details, to fill it in with stories so you feel like you've got a good grasp on things and you know exactly what's going on. You don't feel stable when you don't have that. If you're not doing something to bring this in, it's almost like I'm going to miss the boat. Like I don't know what to do. I don't hear I don't get the guidance. I don't, and so that feels very unstable to you. So you'll create situations or you'll do things to give you a false sense of stability. And that's where the devil is, because we got these two are the flanking pieces. Okay. And so that's where you're grasping on. That's that stubborn energy, that hunkering down type of energy of the Four of Pentacles, right? Because I'll be damned. Like it's almost this feeling of like, if I leave it just like this, where I'm not doing anything and I'm not making progress and I'm not making moves and I'm not, and I don't see it external, I run the risk of losing the stability that I've got right now. So I better fucking do something. And they're like, no, it feels very like it doesn't seem logical. Because like your mind's going, this could take eons. It's a very uneasy feeling and you don't like it at all. Don't fucking like it. Your human doesn't like it. While you very well may believe that as soon as the right, like your intuition will tell you when to do something and what to do, like because you've been doing it. You've had a couple of, you've been making some moves. It feels like you've been making some moves, but it's like, but right now it's radio silence and you're like, and you just, I swear your ego's like, oh, I could see a million ways this could go wrong. We're going to lose our stability, bitch. What are you doing? And so it's like, again, the devil's in the details, and like idle hands, not doing something. That sense of boredom. That's where it's like those energies can infiltrate. And so you have to be careful about that. I think that's the reason why they're saying the timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. Okay? And not to be nervous. you are on the right path. I think there's something about your current circumstance where you're like, you know something has to change, because if it remains as it is, like that's why you've been following your intuitive hits. You've been like, okay, and then suddenly it just like the hits stop a little bit. It feels like that, and you're like, and where you are connecting and feeling connected to source or to your higher self, whatever you want to fucking call it. You're suddenly feeling like, I don't know, like things. When there's radio silence, you could ask a million questions. You could divinate a million times. You could do all kinds, and nothing fucking makes sense. A concise, cohesive, coherent message doesn't come through, and you're like, that's that clouded view of things. Like it feels, that's what radio silence is like. And so what they're saying is, yeah, we're just gonna go with this because I feel like this is just saying exactly what I went ahead of myself, but because you got the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, right? Obviously, I've got to do whatever I can do to hold on to this stability, to hold on to this foundation, right? To keep this structure erect, to not lose this, right? Like these are, to me, the Four of Wands is like your basics of what you need. When we're talking, because the Four of Wands is the foundation, the bare bones, the structure of the house, the four corners, the thing that you build upon, right? So this is like you being concerned about your basic motherfucking needs, like the basics. This isn't even wants and desires and dreams and wishes. This is like, I needs to make sure of the basics of existing in today's society is covered for me. A roof, food, paying bills, like the fucking basics. Okay. Like Maslow's hierarchy of need, right? If those are not met, you cannot reach the other levels of ascension. Period. The foundation is rocky. And so you're grasping on things to make sure you maintain that. You feel like you've got to do something, or else you'll lose it. Three of Swords. And that's what they're saying. Devil's in the details. Like, that's not necessarily true. That's where real faith is. So like I just heard, so I'm just supposed to believe, spirit, that shit's just gonna magically change, and magically everything's gonna be okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I get the feeling, we've got the moon card here, and the story, the image that they're giving me is somebody who is maybe has a lot of experience in their life of not having the full picture and just having to make decisions based upon that. And you know what I'm saying, like having had missteps in their life before because of that, and is almost sick and tired of being kind of like having bits and pieces of reality omitted, not really knowing. It elicits a very subconscious type of fear and memory in your life. But with this, The moon mixed with the Queen of Cups, it's the belief like, okay, well, when that happens, when I know that I don't really know everything, I don't have 100 steps ahead of me. I can't see that far. I don't know, we're in new charted territory. I really need to rely on my intuition, spirit. And even that is radio silent right now because the moon with the Queen of Cups. It just, again, Eight of Swords has you in your, you feel mentally entrapped because of this. And as if somehow you can't make any decisions. Or if you are, because this is the Judgment card, you're not going to be making decisions based upon all the information. But in this type of situation, it's forcing you to trust that your intuition is right, that if you really check in, I think there's an energy about you that feels like, okay, I know that I'm going to figure this out. I know that things are not going to blow up in my face. Like, I think there's an intuitive knowing. Your humans having a difficult time with this, though. Like, it's almost like you're going to know what to do just in the nick of time. You don't fucking like that, but you're going to know what to do. And even though right now it feels like, like, I'll figure it out when it's a little too late. Like that's what your human's saying. You intuitively know something's going to develop or you're going to be able to make moves before anything negative can happen. That's a lot of fucking faith, though. There's not a single thing in your environment that says that shit. Nothing around you says that at all, fucking all. And so they're asking, are you going to listen? This coming up, this just knowing this between subconscious fear and this intuitive guidance where you're like, I don't know why I feel like that will happen, but it's this radio silence. So it gives your ego a reason to question your own intuition. And so it's because with Judgment, it's like, answering that call. But a lot of times it's that call within, like it's just the knowing, it's the guidance. It's like, are you going to follow that, or are you going to allow your ego to cast doubt on what this feels very premonition-y. That's not a real word to me. Almost like you have this, you just kind of like know something's going to happen, and like in the right timing, but you're not hearing something right now and you don't trust it when things go radio silence. It's almost like you feel like spirit's gonna pull the rug out from underneath you. Like something is, what I mean? It's like, whoa, radio silence is getting you. It's getting you. And it's not radio silence. It's just that there's not something for you to do because this has everything to do with hitting things at the right time. Something happening at the right time. So let's ask about this unexpected shit. As this thing, I think there's going to be a surprise. Like you're like, but again, trusting that and just making your decisions based upon that instead of trying to create stability and grasp onto stability and fill in stories and things like that. It's like, and being okay with not making moves or what your ego deems as not making moves. It ain't like you're just sitting on your ass on the couch. All right. Are we allowed to go there? Okay, we're going to start with Lenormand. Because, like I said, it feels like an adventure's coming. And again, The kind where it's like the old you would have taken it as an adventure, but it's really just going to be your new life. It's going to be a new norm for you. So I definitely wanted to address your energy right now as you're waiting for this, so that you don't, you know. I'm addressing, I want to know more about the Odyssey, explore the wonder, Traveler's Odyssey, and then a messenger raven calls out with news, prepare for the unexpected. So like some kind of news. Let's clarify this. Oh, I wonder. Oh, so much confusion surrounding this new beginning. Sometimes Spirit plays Captain Obvious. I just dropped this, and it's the bird, which is like a messenger type of card. It's like hearing of information, communicating, some type of information being communicated. So what is it? What? Give us some information. Let's get gossipy about this. Clarify this for me. Whatever this new beginning is, or this adventure, that's going to kind of like become your new norm. Like, I think other people are going to be concerned about it, which is probably all the more reason for you to be for you to have faith in your own intuition and to be very solid and not let let your ego start playing mindfuckery games with you about this, and you being okay with taking waiting for the right move and waiting for things to unfold like they should. Because right here, this tree is either health related issues, or for me it's like family as well. And then we have, again, the stork came out yesterday, the birds came out yesterday, the child card came out yesterday. We've got this whip, which is like, a lot of times it's self-sabotage, but it can just be the negativity surrounding something, like somebody putting something down. So I get the feeling around this new thing that you're going to have people, especially within your family, once you get this, that either are going to talk about this and say things to you. Specifically, there may be a feminine in your family, because they did bring the female card out. But again, I have been reading a lot for people who are in their feminine energy, which really is in the receiving mode. They're the ones, and which explains this. You're not in the doing and taking action. You're in a more of an open, receptive, creative, evolving, nurturing type of energy. And so but I also get, if I'm having these two together, it feels like there might be a feminine energy within someone's family that has something to say. And it's not pleasant. They're going to try to cast doubt and shade over this new beginning, this adventure. Because the stork card, yes, while it can be like fertility, something that's growing, this prospect, it's also about movement. It is about newness, because babies and stuff. And so for me, I think you're going to have somebody that's going to try and say something about this. Well, what is the actual news? Like, give us a little more about the news that's coming in. You need to remain solid within yourself and your faith in your intuition in regards to this, okay? And just recognize the timing is not necessarily yours. I can't fucking make this up. Fox card. Give me a second. Fox card is definitely family again. So I've definitely picked up on that vibe. Definitely picked up on that vibe. And here's the thing, your family might feel like they are going to be trying to protect you, right? But a lot of times they'll try to fill us with a lot of information, a lot of shit, a lot of talk. Fox. I need to clarify this because they want me to stick with this. Okay, I don't. I can't get away from the idea and notion that they're trying to, yes, family, right? Because the Fox card is also about being cunning, smart, like maneuvering things just right. But I really think this was confirmation for the family because I was like, it's either health or a family. I'm really getting family. And they're like, no, it's family. There's a family vibe to this. And for some of you, I think that also between the whip and everything, I get the energy that the concern is the stability of the family, right? Like, because again, that is your utmost, and when things are gray and cloudy and you're like, too many people are writing on this for me. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely get that, like a family member having something to say about this new beginning, having something to say, like trying to cast doubt and make you feel like you're not being responsible in regards to this. But then we have the bee honey clover, which is all about luck. We have the abundance card, and then we have the recognition, like, because the moon card is actually about something being highlighted and elevated. A lot of people think the star card in the Lenormand is good, which it can, but usually this one's the one about something coming to light, something being illuminated. And it could strictly be that your family will see, they'll see, they're going to get to see, I feel like a different message about the family wants to come out, or whoever this energy is. And if it's, you don't have like family right close to you, that's really, it's somebody that you consider family. It's somebody that's close enough to be like family that would have that type of influence over you, where they feel like they have the right or ability to say and talk and speak on something to you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I cannot shake this family, or people that are close to you, or maybe it's, again, for some of you, it's the biggest fear, and the reason why it's able to interfere with you and create issue for you is because you're worried about your family, because your family depends on you, children, spouse, maybe you take care of your parents. Explain these. What is it with the family that you... I heard this is not the time. Okay. This is not the time. I think they're going to try to convince you that this is not a good idea that's going to blow up in your face. Okay, we got the 7 of air. Could be about someone trying to deceive you, cast doubt, all that kind of stuff, which is the 7 of swords. Or you deceiving yourself. But down here it even says poor timing. And we have the page of earth, which is, I think this has to do with the whatever the news is, whatever this offer is, this new adventure. It's doing something different. It is a new path, a new trajectory, new financial opportunity, a new area of focus in life. Then you have the Two of Air, having to make a decision about this, the Chariot, which is funny because in this one, on this one, it says public recognition, which is exactly what I got. How does this play in with the family? I guess it really is. So for those of you, okay, for those of you that where you're like, I'm really concerned about my family because I'm the backbone or I am the stability for the people in this house. And so when things aren't moving and I'm like, I don't see something developing, I need to do shit to make sure we're good, right? And so there might be a piece of you that this radio silence makes you feel like you want to either abandon something or, it's like whatever it is might lead you to do actions that would be counter to whatever your intuition has been telling you and might create a kerfluffle with what is trying to unfold for you. Okay. Because it's also like, it says more going on than meets the eye. And there may be a reassurance here for those where your concern is the family. Like you are concerned about the family. Like it is your main priority. They're like, please be aware. There's more than what's you can't see it, but there's more going on than what you see. Okay? Because when the Seven of Swords, he goes into the enemy's camp or the other army's camp, they don't know they're asleep. He's in there checking shit out and everything. They wake up in the morning and some shit's missing, right? Stuff that's going on, again, that you're not aware of. That may relate to the family too. I don't know why I just got that. For some of you, there might be something that's happening within the family that you're not even aware of yet. I think I hit something there because that felt good. Like, like I couldn't get rid of the energy. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of different ways this can play out. This is what happens when you ask for details. It looks a little different for everybody. For some of you all, you've got family that's trying to didn't mean to make it sound like that, but they're trying to cast out. They're concerned. They're going to, and so your ego might use that as fuel in the whole, like, hey, this is whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I shouldn't trust this when it comes in. Maybe I should make moves now and waiting for the next intuitive hit on what to do isn't a good idea, blah, 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 right? For some of you, your concern is for your family because you're like, a lot's riding on this. These people depend upon me. And this whole like me not knowing and then there being a radio silent, that shit's not okay with me. Like I need to know this is moving forward because I've got a lot riding on it, right? And then you have some where it's like, they're saying for those people, it's, hey, there's stuff going on that you're not aware of behind the scenes. Something is a new financial area, a new path in your life is coming in for you. And it is going to require you to make a decision about it, right? You may feel like you're at a stalemate at this point, but really this is coming in. And the Chariot is like, is about an achievement, victory, success. But even on here, it says public recognition. Like with any victory or achievement, people will be able to see this. And that's the other thing. That one little blib at the end, I was like, oh, family's going to be able to see this because you got the Fox card and then you've got your abundance and the luck and the success. They'll probably change their tune once things start to unfold. So it's like being really careful of your energy and the stories that you tell yourself and not getting caught up in any kind of details or trying to fill in any details during this radio silence because, well, that might get you off kilter and create a situation where you're going to take action that would be counter to what you've been doing up to this point. But there is an idea that what you aren't seeing is like the adventure has something to do with your material world. Absolutely. And how that impacts your finances and like a new area or a new path that you haven't traveled yet in your life. Okay. That's why it's an adventure. Again, going back to the vision they gave me, it's a new thing for you. It may not be an adventure for somebody else because they've been doing this shit at, whatever. It's like, but it's new for you. And it's, whoa, it is and it's exciting, and it's a new focus in your life. It really is. Page of Pentacles. Chariot. This is going to be a very important achievement. You will get some type of public recognition. And again, that can be either the family gets to watch you succeed after they've been trying to put a hamper on things, or someone recognizes, like, you get offered something because they recognize you as, and then there's like a celebration. Like, this will be celebrate. Okay, so, and for some of you all, there may be ulterior motives to trying to poo-poo on what it is that you're trying to achieve by your family, or these really close individuals. I'm going to say inner circle. It's either inner circle or family. That's the way we're going to, you know what I'm saying? There's an ulterior motive, because with this whole something's going on behind the scenes that you don't see, and the whip card and things like that. It's like, you may be worried about the stability, and they may be trying to cast doubt, and there may be a reason they're trying to cast doubt. Okay. That you're not even aware of. And it could simply be jealousy that they can't even recognize in themselves, because you're going to be going and doing something that seems exciting and refreshing and new in your life, and they're stuck in the same old, same old. Okay. So be aware of that. Anything about this thing coming in, or this news, because obviously you're in a space of radio silence on this, and even as far as like getting an intuitive hit or any kind of guidance, and so you feel like, well, I want to do something, and they're saying prepare for the unexpected. So it's like anything else surrounding the unexpected, the news. It's like a long-term elevation is what they're giving me. It's going to be, I picked up on this in a couple of times. It's like a long-term commitment. Whatever this is, when you go on this, again, I got with that whole thing where it was like, this is coming in and it's going to be your new way of existing. So it's going to stick. Whatever this is, it's coming in and it's going to stick. We've got the marriage card, which is all about contracts, longevity, partnerships coming together. And then we have the high honor card, which is the public recognition. Okay. So either you're going to get recognized as, oh, you were right all along, and the people that were trying to poo-poo on this are going to have to watch, like they get corrected. Okay. Like people get to watch you succeed at this. Or this is like somebody recognizing your value and elevating, like whatever this is, it elevates your status. So this isn't a Band-Aid on a heart attack kind of situation where something good comes in and it takes care of things for right now, but it's just going to go away. And then I'm having to scrounge to, what do I do now, to keep things afloat, especially for those who are worried about their family, who people depend upon them. That's like this has longevity to it. It's going to elevate your status on a more permanent basis. So you won't have to get back to that place of like, no, I really have to be like very vigilant about this because people are depending upon me. You're good. You're good. Anything else? Give us something juicy. Something juicy is what I want. So the house card is about where you belong. Structures in your life. Why do I feel like, no, this is just one card. The stability. They really want to rein this in. They've hammered this the entire fucking time about it's because the house card in Kipper is all about like the structures, the foundations, the stability, reliability, where you actually live, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm definitely paired with this. Again, we have a theme of feminine energy. So whoever this is for, you are operating primarily out of your feminine energy right now. You go from being main female to the privileged lady. Whatever this adventure is, no wonder they gave me the image of me traveling the coast in the train on Sicily, where that was like, to me, that was like a very amazing trip. It felt very just like, first off, how privileged was I to be able to do that, to go across the globe, and then just for 10 days, really it was 12, and like just do whatever and enjoy myself, go out on the ocean, eat all these different restaurants, and like the pure joy of just traveling on that train and just seeing the coast, because it was gorgeous weather. Can I just say that? We were so lucky. I think it rained one day, and the rest of the time it was amazing. Like that's the kind of energy. Of course, they're going to show me a trip to the most gorgeous areas and gorgeous coasts and stuff like that, because that's how that's, to me, that is like the ultimate, right? People live there, but I'm like, no, that's what I want. I don't have that in my life. Like, that's amazing to have that on a consistent basis. Fuck yes. And that ease of life, privileged lady. So whatever this is, it has a permanence to it. So just know that what's coming in, you know, you don't want to mess this up, is what I want to say, by trying to fill in stories and do things and like take charge and start taking actions in a different direction. Wait for those promptings, because what you're stepping into and what's coming is a new adventure. It is something that you would consider like, oh, and like, this is never happens to me. I never get to experience this. You know, this isn't normal in my life. It becomes your fucking normal. It becomes your life. It becomes on a permanent basis. That's what they're saying. It elevates shit on such a permanent basis. You're gonna want to stick around for this, okay? It's gonna be very abundant for you. So, and this doesn't mean like I went and did that and I was not a millionaire, okay, guys? Like you know, people think that when we say things like this and we talk about being a privileged lady and being elevated into something that feels luxurious to us, right? It doesn't mean like people doubt it because they're like, oh, there's no way I'll have that much. Let me tell you what, I can do a lot more over in Europe and places like that than I can in the United States. My money doesn't go far here. It goes further in other areas. Just throw that one out, right? Like, I ain't looking to dominate capitalism and things like that. I want to feel fucking good and have control over my time in my life, you know, like not having to slave away at certain things, and really just enjoying. Like, to me, that's the privileged fucking lady. She's lucky as shit. Fuck yes. So again, that's why they wanted to give this comparison. For somebody else, they may be like, well, that's just normal. What are you talking about? You know, like, well, that's really great that that was normal for you, but it wasn't for me. But it is going to be now. This is my new normal. The ease. We all know those people. They really don't know what true, like, their version of like difficulty is like our fucking ease. What the fuck? So that's what they're saying. They're like, hey, you're gonna get unexpected news. Like, this is gonna be good. You're gonna want to stick around for this. Don't fuck with the energies. Have faith. Don't let the devil in while you're on radio silence. Don't let it play with you. Okay. Stay true to the calling that you feel, like this guidance that you've been, this compass that you've been going after. By all means, take care of what you have to take care of. But I don't think any major moves that would change, they would revert you back to some of the changes you've already made. Because again, I'm still feeling like you've already started making steps towards this. You keep, there's like, I feel like I should do this, and oh, now I'm going to apply for this, and now I'm going to do this. All these little guidances that you keep getting and nudges. Just because your radio's silent right now, don't worry. And I do feel, what's timing on this, Spirit? They want, okay. All right. Because I've been feeling something like already here kind of a thing. Okay. On the split, we have 5 of Wands and 6 of Wands. For somebody, that's going to be days. Wands in timing are days, 5 to 6 days. Three of Wands, 5 of Wands. This could happen like within a matter of days, is what I'm getting. Like the fact that I keep splitting and there's always a wand. But just for shits and giggles, let's figure out what this timing is. Okay. Whatever this is, here's where you're at right now, which is that void, the lack of communication, where you might feel compelled to fill in the space, fill in the blanks, right? Not to do that. Devil card came out again. 2 of Cups. Timing wise, for something to come into union, to come in together, cups are all about months. 2 months at most for everything to develop, right? Because what I'm hearing is within, by no later than 2 months, you will have the world card and the Sun card. Not only will things be illuminated, but it is like a fuck yes, this is success. And the world is the freedom. So it's almost, again, if we're going back to some of the other readings, like if we have like a domino effect, to me, it's like shit may pop off within days, but the freedom, this privileged lady, you'll probably be able to get to that within 2 months. Your new normal will show up. To me, it gets no later, because to me, it's you don't have 2 months and then it's success. It's like, no, it's already illuminated. Everything's out in the open. The freedom, and it's the fucking yes card, victory card. So to me, that's like the whole process could take that long. But if with all the wands, it's like literally in a matter of days, things will start to turn. So somebody had to have been really thinking like, you know what? I'm going to go do this, this, and this. And you may be like, oh, I'm not abandoning this. I know I'm meant for something else. And but in the meantime, I'm going to do this. And they're like, be careful. You're filling in the details and you might get taken off course. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Well, let's put that in perspective, Kelsey, right? If something starts to happen in December, but it can't come to fruition until, say, 2 months, right? Like, because certain things have to unfold. Let's say somebody were to be given a job, right? Or be offered a job. Let's use that as an example. Well, first they have to extend the offer. Then they've got to process the paperwork. And then is the training period. And then is the first paycheck. Like that takes, we all know this, unless you are getting a low quality job that pays you weekly, you know, that kind of thing. Generally speaking, that takes time. From the point where something is offered and you're getting the money and you now feel solid, safe, stable, and like, oh, my family's good, that may take a full, and here's the other thing. Maybe the 2 months is, what if they want to move you to where, like, they're going to help relocate you? Or that shit's not going to happen in 1 fucking week. Bitch, you got to pack up your house now. Now you got to find another place there. And then, you know, the processing of the money and things. So think of it that way, right? Because just because the first thing starts now, which would be like the offer, doesn't mean you're suddenly in the clear, right? You're not like You still have to worry about paying the bill this month. You still have to make sure that you're gonna, if there's Christmas and you're doing things for Christmas, like that kind of stuff, right? Like that's the, like there's still things, but it's the tip off point, is what I want to say, is what feels like it's going to be within days. Does that make sense? And the full culmination where it's like, yes, because for some people, you have to negotiate shit, right? So like for some jobs, and this is like, again, one person's adventure, to you, it may feel like this, like, oh my God, like to somebody else, this is normal. There are people that are younger than me. This is their normal, where people are clamoring for them. I went into a profession, people don't clamor, but they kind of do, but they don't pay well. All right. When you are in the area of social justice, you don't generally get paid well unless you're a lobbyist in the US. And so it's one of those things where it's like, it wouldn't, for someone to be like, we'll pay you this and we'll pay your relocation fees and we'll make sure that we find a place, we'll put this allowance in your contract. I'd be like, what the fuck? There are people that's normal. There are people in IT that make $120,000, $200,000, things like that. I alone have never made $120,000. So if I were to get like, you see what I'm saying? Like, holy shit. This is like something coming in that to me is like, woo, just new territory I've never been. Okay, it's a new adventure, but it brings such a sense of stability and a sense of luxury. Like, freedom. Like, yes, this is what I want. For somebody else, that's very normal. But I do have a sense of great gratitude and enjoyment with this. These people who go out and pay for their nails, spend $100 on their nails every month or more. I'm like, I've got kids. How the fuck you going and spending that kind of money on that? Like, my children come first. My son every 3 months needs 2 new pair of shoes. He's in man-sized shoes now. That's $200 and something or more, because these fucking shoes are at least $120. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, that's what I'm saying. So, like, and it would take a process. So, to negotiate something, for them to send me the sign-on bonus, and for me to get like all that kind of stuff. Just think of it in broader terms. Like, really play with the idea and notion of how this could play out. I think sometimes our brain, again, likes to get caught up in the details and will narrow down, and we can't see how this could pan out for us. And it's like, it fucking can. It absolutely can. Broaden your understanding of how this can play out. No, I'm with you, Kelsey. I can't stand those times, especially when you're a reader and it's like, it's radio silence. When I say, it reminds me of winter. When you have like this exceptionally cold, snow is out, not a single fucking animal is making a noise, not a crackle, not nothing. You walk outside and it's like nothing more fucking irritating. You're like, this is what I fucking do. And you're like, it's radio silent. I get it. I've been there. And I get real hella impatient. I'm good for a few days. And then I'm like, this shit's stupid. I'm just being honest. All right, let's see here. Hello to all the gorgeous, beautiful new people. Welcome. So if you came in late, make sure to go back and watch the full video because there was a lot. And that's something new. We have not discussed this. Like, I like it. I like it a lot. And now I'm all like, man, I want to go back to Italy. I want to go back to Sicily. So bad, guys. So bad. I know. I know that there's all these love and light, exceptionally love and light people, and that's great if they manage to do that. But I feel like they're gaslighting themselves at times, because it's like, first and foremost, I always tell people any spectrum that exists here exists there, as above, so below. And to only know one aspect of source, which is nothing but love and light, is to not really know true divinity. Divinity encompasses all of the light and the dark. And I've heard people say things like, they're like, your spirit team would never be like this, that, and that. Bitch, says who? How limited is your spiritual team? Because I've got ancestors. I've got like these alien looking motherfuckers. And it's like, if you think at some point that they don't get tired of my shit and they aren't willing to call me on it, I don't want you in my team then. If you can't come to me and be fucking real, and if I can't be real with you about my emotions and where I'm at, and if you can't hold space for me, if you're supposed to be part of the etheric and have a better understanding, and you lack the capability of holding space when I'm throwing a fucking tantrum, you do not need to be in my spiritual team. Bitch, get out. Get the fuck out. I don't do that shit. Okay? And I'm the one living this fucking limited human experience in this shitty ass dimension. It's beautiful in so many ways, and it's very shitty. This existence exemplifies source energy, because source is made up of abso-fucking-lutely everything. And to deny that is to fragment, which is what we're trying to get away from. Or that is very evident in our society. Everything is so fragmented. It's an either or situation. Everything's operating in polarity. There's a lack of unity and a lack of understanding of the cohesion of how it all works together, how it's all one. So my thing is, if you can't recognize that in spirit, you can't fucking recognize it in yourself. So you are not really in touch with the divine within. So here's the thing. If somebody sits there and tells you that it's so wrong to cuss at spirit, or to be angry with spirit, or to demand anything of spirit, or to experience all the fucking emotions, how well, then it's wrong of spirit to allow such atrocities here. Like, bullshit. Don't give me that shit. This idea and notion that it's spiritual if it's all great and gravy and beautiful, and it's you. Like if shit's going really well, spirit helped you. If it's going wrong, it's all your fucking fault. Fuck you. You're so... Do you hear your goddamn self? Do you hear what in the actual fuck? So, yes, I will never shame anybody for getting real with spirit and expecting, right? Because we're in an evolution. We are evolving. And for me to not have a human experience, which includes all those goddamn emotions, fuck you. This is not the channel for you then. You can move the fuck along. Just saying. I love that. Shally, I mess names up here. Okay? I mess names up all the fucking time. So, anywho. Well, and the whole like spirit never abandons you, you abandon yourself. Yes and no. Because to me, that depends on what what you deem abandonment, what your definition is, what kind of stories you put behind that. To think that we all have the same definition and understanding with the limited words that the human existence has to describe things, which is the reason why I like energy so much better, because it's more comprehensive. It's to me even easier to understand. So for me, it's like, if you define abandonment by lack of engagement, because that does happen, spirit will seriously take a fucking step back and will let you write it out yourself. Like, because we always have to remember, guys, if one is true, then the opposite is true. That's duality. That is polarity. That is like the spectrum of like this notion that only good exists without the other. It's like, no, fucking no. Because then everything else in the spiritual community that they put their premise on would be wrong. I also don't sit there and say things like coincidence doesn't happen. It's all here. Let me point out some loopholes in this new spiritual community that we've got going on here. So the whole idea, notion that everything is meant to happen, then there's no such thing as free will. Just gonna throw that one out there, because it was all preordained. It was all meant to happen. There's no real that was what was meant. If you chose absolutely everything before you came here, then you really don't have the human concept of free will. Not real. Then that doesn't exist, because you don't have any other option. If and this is something they talk about, like other dimensions and other timelines, things like that. Other dimensional, like there's you in every other dimension, and you in every other dimension changes. They have their own path and everything else like that. And then there's an infinite number of dimensions. Something that I hear people say is, well, you in another dimension would have chosen this. Well, if there's a dimension and a version of me that exists for every choice, decision, emotion, and path that I take in life, then I really don't ever get to choose something different, because then I'm encroaching on another dimension's that choice, that decision was really somebody else's in another dimension. Like, people don't listen to how they frame things, and then they're like, but we all have free will. Nah, you can't have both, motherfuckers, can you? Like, something here is amiss. Something here is amiss. I just don't buy into a lot of that shit. Nope. Not at all. Oh, Shaylee, thank you for telling me, because I'd be floundering with some shit. So, anyways. Anywho, oh, and snow owl crystals. I like that. Thank you, snow owl. Owl is my animal. I'm gonna tell you that much. I love that name. I think yes, I use the terms contracts, soul contracts, but it's more of like an agreement. You know what I mean? And yes, I do believe that soul can't, I do believe they can be broken. Yeah. Yeah. That would be like a whole nother rant, but yes. Because again, there are things that I will have channeled to me that I myself am like, fucking hell. Like, my human has a very difficult time wrapping my brain around it. And I have a million questions, but I'm sure a lot of you, I'm not gonna say everybody, has had those times and those moments where something comes to you and you just know it to be true. And maybe you don't necessarily agree with it, or you don't know how or why, but but with every fabric of your being, you know it to be true. Things, you know, that's a whole nother thing too. Um, because there's stuff that I will get spiritually with my spirit team, and I'm like, okay, now how the fuck, and I have to grapple with it. Like I have to grapple with it and try to figure it out, and I'm like, and I don't necessarily always, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some things that I still feel like I'm trying to understand. Um, and some things that I just take as like, okay. Like anybody who channels or receives or is open to their intuition or is open to, spiritual downloads or whatever you want to call it. I know you've experienced those moments. You're like, something comes through and you're like, oh, and all you can do is be like, okay, okay, right? Um, so I will say that I know that there are certain things that are meant to happen. I absolutely believe it. And I absolutely believe that there are certain things that spirit interferes on. You'll have a lot of people that are like, like that don't believe that etheric energies interfere, other dimensional energies ever interfere. And there are certain agreements that I feel like we do come in with, but it's more about the experience that we're meant to have versus it has to be very specific. Like this happens to this, you know what I'm saying? And so let's say use soul contracts as an example. I'm going to go back to that. If you have a soul contract with somebody, which to me is a little bit different than a soul connection. It can be the same, but soul connection is broader in my opinion. Like a soul contract is more like two energies coming together, having an experience. The goal isn't what exactly happens, it is the experience that is meant to happen. But because of the fact that not everything is preordained or predetermined, not every single minuscule detail of existence is predetermined. That I do not fucking believe. Let's talk about like this notion of soul, twin flames and things like that. And I've said this a million times on this channel. So you're telling me, because we have a soul contract, that I'll never experience exceptional depth of connection unless this person gets their shit together and comes into my life, that nothing could ever compare. Like, you'll have other good feeling, and I swear when people say this shit, you'll have like soulmates, but it's nothing like the twin flame. Nothing will ever feel. Bull fucking shit. You can only meet somebody as deeply as you've met yourself. So this motherfucker over here that's supposed to be my fucking twin flame, that I've got this soul connection with, that I can recognize the soul connection with. My soul recognizes their soul. They choose not to evolve. They choose, and not even evolve, but maybe their evolutionary process is taking a lot longer, right? And they might go around a pattern or a cycle 5 times as compared to my one. So somehow I get left out from and because of that, obviously we're not in alignment, right? I believe about things being in alignment. So suddenly we're not in alignment, however you want to do that. My vibration doesn't match theirs. We're just not in alignment. They are still working through things. They're still trying to learn deeply within themselves and recognize certain patterns and unravel those things, get through subconscious healing, and really discover the divine within, standing in their truth, loving the self truly and honestly. I am somewhere else already there. And because I am and they're not, suddenly any other connection thereafter is not nearly as deep. Bull fucking shit. I guarantee you, I will be able to attract somebody there is somebody that's in alignment with me who is in that same energetic frequency as I am, vibration, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that is in alignment with me, who has reached those depths. I'll find somebody who has gone as deep as I have. And you're telling me that connecting with someone, like you can only meet somebody else as deeply as you've met yourself? Let's remember that. So whatever connection I have with them is going to be a hell of a lot more shallow than the connection I have with this person because they've gone deep. There may have been a soul contract to encounter one another, but somehow things are not aligning. And so I like that's it. That's all I get. Like I don't have anything else. Like I won't ever be able to experience something like that because I've chosen to go really deep within. You think that spirit's going to waste a person who has really stepped into their own divinity and can help others around them and can have a completely new, different experience and lens and perspective of this world? It's just going to go to fucking waste? Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Because I guarantee the person that matches me, is in alignment with me, that is one hell of a deep connection that I will experience. You're not going to tell me this motherfucker over here who hasn't, that's always going to be the better one. Bullshit. And if you think if you believe in multiple lives or even the notion of like there's this one existence and then the etheric, that's still to me two existences, two different ways of experiencing that somehow I only have one soul contract in my entire or soul connection. I can meet other people at a fucking soul level. Like it's just it's bullshit. So maybe what I was meant to experience with, or like that doesn't leave me. Does that make sense? I still get to have that experience whether this person managed to get in their life where they were meant to. So for me, it's like, yeah, no, I do believe that contracts can be amended. Soul contracts or agreements, they're really meant not for it has to look exactly like this. It is meant for you to have that fucking experience. That's the point. This existence is experiencing the divine all at once. All the myriad of aspects of the divine I can see when I look external to me. I can experience it internally. So no, I don't think, I don't know. I don't understand these people who I don't agree with it. That's not me. They can believe what they want. Their truth is their truth. My truth is not fucking that. I can recognize someone's soul, but no one's going to tell me that an agreement or a contract or whatever you want, whatever term you want to label it, right? Because we're limited. That was really meant for me to have that experience, to integrate it at a deep level, for me to experience the divine at a particular level within myself, not for, so yeah, sorry. And I understand the need, the desire and need to label things. It makes it easier on our human, right? Not everybody communicates at an energetic level. And I know y'all felt this. You walk into a room and you can sense shit. And like your friend's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay. Or, you can tell when somebody's energy is different and has shifted. Right? When you are really in touch and know and understand and are grounded in your own energy, it's easier to recognize when someone else's shifts. So if you're really in a state of chaos and confusion and inner turmoil or anything like that in your life, it becomes a hell of a lot more difficult to identify and tap into energies of others. You don't know if it's yours, theirs, blah, 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 things like that. It gets real difficult. And I sometimes dislike having to form words. And so I try not to get too caught up on how someone maybe terms something, the terms that they use, because everything is filled with stories. I used to not like the term surrender, guys. I hated surrender. To me, it felt like giving over control, but that's because of the programming and my life experiences, and you know that defined what that term really meant for me. I don't care what Webster's dictionary says or anything else like that. For me, that's what it meant energetically. The energy that I put behind these words. Okay. And I learned that surrender means to really let go and receive. Surrender is being open. Surrender in and of itself is probably the one thing I fucking have the most control over in my life, because it is 100 fucking percent a choice. By default, in and of itself, its definition in any story form that I can surrender is the ultimate control, because only I can fucking choose to do that. And I had to unpack all the stories I had surrounding that, right? Because the idea and notion of surrendering to spirit or surrendering to my path or, going with the flow, like it felt very light for a while. And it was because it was packed with all. I don't care what I could have given you Webster's dictionary definition. It's the fucking energy behind it, guys. Right? So when people say careful of your words, it's not the words, right? Because I can say bitch, fuck, asshole, whatever else, and people are like, that's so negative. No, it's not. I don't know what energy you're putting behind that fucking word, but in my life, the word fuck is so awesome because its meaning changes. It's like one of the one words that the energy behind it is what gives its definition, which is really actually true of every word. So if you want to, if the energy you put behind something is negative, your intention is negative, then it's negative. It's gonna have, you know what I mean? So I'm also one of those things where like one of those people that like it's not always yes, your words, it's the energy, it's not the words. It's the energy you attach to it, that you put behind it, that fuels that word. That's what fucking matters. Right? That's also why sometimes you can say something a million fucking times and shit never changes. Ever, 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 ever. Because your energy is rank behind it. And you have to unpack the stories. That's a part of the healing process. It is pulling things apart and looking at it and examining it and understanding it, and then allowing yourself to feel it and explore it and whatever else it is. So Kelsey, if you feel like cussing at spirit, fucking do it, okay? Because I can't imagine and saying that you can't do that. Like, how the fuck did you get to a place? How do you evolve? How do you expand in this existence without that? Now, maybe I understand some people just don't cuss, but to feel the feelings and to express them, isn't that how we fucking ended up in our society where we're at right fucking now? Unhealed, with traumas, living according to some programmed way of existence, living out of somebody else's fucking truth, right? That's how we ended up in this, So for me, it's not, no. Yeah. That makes sense. No, Blueberry, we're not doing it. Today was a coffee on tarot and I just went on a fucking tangent. Sorry, guys. Yeah, entity attachments, all that shit's real. And then so people are like, demons, and I understand, like demons aren't necessarily what people think. But there is evil. What I have encountered energies that are, if you're looking at the spectrum, the cauldron of all energies that make up source, it exists. It exists. I use the term evil, not demonic, because that to me is, it's the term that feels the most appropriate that I could, you know what I mean? because there's a purity in that. Yeah, as above, so below. The idea notion that somehow in the etheric, it happened there first. That's why we're experiencing it here. We come here to experience all the energies through a different lens. So, just me, guys. Right? I go on tangents. I'm sorry, guys. Where are we at? Did I miss everybody? Yeah. Oh, I like the way energy densities. Yes. You know, I use that, but I've never used that together. Like I always talk about how like energy feels heavy or free flowing, or I like that. Oh, Snow Owl, thank you for that. Energy densities. I like that one. Thank you. I have new terms. So, and just so that people are aware, anybody who is new, I do my readings based upon this, this awakening phase is really for me where one, we're all coming into what our real truth is. It's the unpacking, the healing, coming into what our truth is and living from that space. And in doing so, we get back in touch with the divinity within. That source is in me and I am in source. We're one and the same, but separate, if that makes sense. I will touch on, I went on that tangent and I forgot I went too far on my tangent. I do believe there's certain things that are meant to happen though. I do believe in tower moments. I do believe that there are times that spirit meddles. They're like, no. And I think it has everything to do with our greater self and what we intended to experience here. And sometimes we are at that proverbial cliff and spirit will take a boot to the ass and knock us over. Like, bitch, you too bad. Right? And there's certain things that if we have dealt with something over and over and over again in multiple lives, multiple existences, that it's just time. I think that there are certain things, especially when I do believe there is a trajectory of evolution that spirit would like to maintain for certain dimensions and level of existences and blah, 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 whatever you want to fucking call it. So to me, I know for a fact that people's ancestors and those types of energies can come in. Like this notion that somehow I make every decision and nothing can ever impact me. Somebody else's energy could never impact me. First off, there are no messiahs here on earth. Second off, like no one gets a free pass at the human experience. There's no such thing as perfection. So just because you've healed and you've worked through things and you've done things, you're not suddenly impervious to shit. Okay? Healing is literally just the process of learning how to live. It's way that we should have been operating all along. It is how we avert and avoid open, festering wounds within ourselves that almost literally we give and hand our power over to. Healing is learning how to exist and live within this existence. We weren't taught that. We were taught conformity. We were taught fear. We were taught divisiveness. We were taught a lot of things, a lot of fucking things, and we were taught that if we live according to this checklist, we could achieve the ultimate experience in this life. And that's bullshit. Right? Bullshit. We all know that. But yeah, so I do know, and it can get frustrating when you have literally witnessed spiritual or etheric energies interfere, and then there's a time where you're like, bitch, I would love for you to interfere right fucking now. If there was ever a time, now is the time. And then motherfuckers sitting back, sipping their fucking coffee somewhere else, and like, I don't know what look at her. She yelling at us? You be yelling at your motherfucking self. They are on a break. Yes, ma'am. I believe it. It does happen. And I get pissed. I'm like, look, assholes. There's been times. It's just a term, guys. If you got triggered, not the channel for you. Just saying. Anywho. All right. All right. Okay, guys. So there you go. That was the reading and my rant. I hope that everything... Because the woo-woo is normal. Okay, one more thing, guys. Y'all be saying shit. Cappy's like, part of the reason I'm drawn to this channel is because the woo-woo part sounding normal. You want to know why? Because reality is the fantasy, and the magic is actually real. All the things that we were told is real isn't, and the things that we were told isn't real is. And science is the discovery of the spiritual. Science, in its truest form, is the discovery of magic. So when I talk about you living into your magic and I didn't like that word either at first. It's not that I didn't like it. It was just like, why would you choose that? And the more I unpack things, I was like, that is the most accurate fucking term ever. Right? And if you really pay attention, there's a lot of science that backs up the spiritual. And science is limited, like we are. We are discovering and expanding our understanding of energy, of the magic, of the spiritual, and busting our own beliefs every single time we fucking turn around, right? That's what science is doing. There's a lot of shit. Science used to say, that's not pot. And then it's like every time they discover something new. And you'd be amazed at how many times science, things that were considered woo-woo and like stupid and fantastical, science is going, oh, that's actually probable. Oh, we just found evidence that does exist. I'm just saying. And I frequently will mention those things here. So if you're a regular, they can vouch for me. We talk about that. Because shit's not separate. That's what people want you to believe. It's not. But I like the word woo-woo. I use it because it's like, that's my way of like saying, okay, we're about to get in there. I'm weird in my presentation and how I behave, the way that I act, my facial expressions. I've always been weird. I haven't always fit in, and that's a good thing. I fucking love my weird. And I'm woo-woo. Weird and woo-woo. There you go. So I hope everybody comes back. I hope y'all get to come back and see some more and look at some of the other videos and stuff. But definitely try to enjoy your day. Okay. And again, sometime in the next week, I'll try to come on and we'll do actual personal reads. For those who aren't aware, I also do what's called Tarot Demystified, and I will do readings for people. I'll pick and choose people in the chat. So, okay, dokie. All right, then. All right, y'all have a fantastic day. Peace out, home skillets.